episode 2 builds tension slowly before it reaches that powerful final scene. At the center of the story are Fraser and Jamie Fraser, who once again find themselves standing in the middle of a growing storm. The world around them is changing quickly, and the danger of war is no longer something far away. It is getting closer every day. Throughout the episode, the atmosphere feels uneasy. Conversations are filled with worry, and even simple moments between characters carry a feeling that something serious is coming. Jamie spends much of the episode dealing with the responsibilities placed on him. People look to him for leadership, and that pressure is clear in every scene. He understands that the choices he makes now could affect not only his family, but also many lives around him. The tension in his voice and the weight in his expressions show that he is thinking far ahead. Jamie has always been brave, but this episode reminds viewers that bravery often comes with fear. He knows that the future may force him to make decisions that could change everything. Claire, on the other hand, carries a different kind of concern. She has always had knowledge of the future, and that knowledge can feel like both a gift and a burden. In this episode, there are moments when she seems quiet and thoughtful, almost as if she is trying to connect the pieces of a puzzle that others cannot see. Claire understands that history has a way of repeating painful events, and that knowledge creates a deep emotional struggle inside her. She wants to protect the people she loves, but she also knows that changing the course of history is never simple. As the episode moves forward, smaller moments begin to build toward the ending. Characters share conversations that feel more serious than usual. Some words sound like warnings, while others feel like promises. These moments may seem calm on the surface, but underneath them lies a growing sense that something important is about to happen. The writers slowly build this tension, making the audience feel that the story is moving toward a turning point. Another important part of the episode is the way relationships are shown. The bond between Jamie and Claire remains strong, but even their connection is tested by the growing dangers around them. They trust each other deeply, yet there is a silent understanding between them that the path ahead will not be easy. The episode shows how love and loyalty can become powerful strengths. When the world begins to fall into chaos. By the time the story reaches its final scenes, the tension has grown strong enough that viewers know something major is coming. The episode carefully places each character in position for the moment that will close the story. Every conversation, every quiet glance, and every difficult choice leads directly toward that final moment. And when the ending finally arrives, it feels less like a surprise and more like the result of everything that came before it. This is what makes episode 2 so powerful. It does not rush into drama. Instead, it slowly builds emotion, pressure, and uncertainty until the final scene hits with full impact. The ending does not just close the episode. It opens the door to new questions, new dangers, and a future that suddenly feels far more unpredictable than anyone expected. The final scene of Outlander Season 8 episode 2 carries a quiet tension that slowly grows stronger. With every passing moment, nothing in the scene feels rushed. Instead, it unfolds carefully, allowing the emotions of the characters to take center stage. By the time the episode reaches its closing minutes, the atmosphere has already been filled with worry and uncertainty. The characters are standing at a point where every decision feels important, and the future suddenly looks more dangerous than before. At the heart of this moment are Jamie Fraser and Claire Fraser, whose lives have always been connected to events much larger than themselves. Throughout the episode, they both sense that something serious is coming, but the ending makes that feeling impossible to ignore. When the final events begin to unfold, it becomes clear that the calm moments earlier in the story were only the beginning of a much bigger conflict. The scene places the characters in a situation where emotions and responsibility collide. Jamie has spent the entire episode thinking about the growing pressure around him. People trust him, depend on him, and expect him to guide them through difficult times. In the ending, that pressure becomes even more visible. His actions show that he understands the danger ahead, but he also knows that stepping away from it is not an option. Jamie has always been a protector, and this moment reminds viewers that protecting others often requires great personal sacrifice. Claire watches these events with deep concern. Her understanding of history makes the moment even more intense for her. She knows that when tensions rise like this, the outcome is rarely peaceful. While others may hope that things will settle down, Claire understands how quickly events can turn into tragedy. The expressions on her face reveal a mix of worry, determination, and quiet strength. She wants to believe that things can still change, yet she also prepares herself for the possibility that the path ahead may already be written. Another powerful part of the ending is the silence between the characters. Sometimes the most meaningful moments are not spoken out loud. A simple look between Jamie and Claire carries years of shared experiences. They have survived war, loss, and separation before, and those memories now shape the way they face this new threat. Without saying much, they both understand that the coming days will test them again. The final moments also highlight how the world around them is shifting. The sense of stability that once existed is beginning to disappear. Political tension continues to grow, and the people around Jamie are becoming more aware that conflict may soon arrive at their doorstep. Even those who are not directly involved can feel the change in the air. The episode carefully shows that this is not just a personal struggle for the main characters. It is the beginning of a larger storm that could affect many lives. What makes this ending especially powerful is the emotional weight behind it. The characters are not simply reacting to events. They are thinking about the consequences of every choice they make. For Jamie, the decision to step forward means risking everything he values. For Claire, standing beside him means accepting the dangers that come with that path. Their bond gives them strength, but it also reminds them of how much they could lose. As the episode closes, viewers are left with the feeling that the story has reached a turning point. The ending does not rely on loud action or sudden surprises. Instead, it builds its power through emotion, character decisions, and the quiet understanding that the future will not be easy. Every moment in that final scene points toward the same truth. The peace the characters hoped for may not last much longer. By the time the screen fades, the message is clear. The events of episode 2 are only the beginning. The choices made in these final minutes will shape everything that comes next. And the journey ahead for Jamie, Claire, and the people around them is about to become far more dangerous than before. The ending of *** Outlander Season 8, Episode 2 becomes even more powerful when we look at the deeper meaning behind the characters' actions. On the surface, the final moments show people facing a difficult situation. But beneath that moment lies a story about loyalty, fear, and the heavy cost of protecting the people you love. Every character in that final scene is carrying a personal struggle, and those struggles slowly shape the direction of the story moving forward. For Jamie Fraser, the ending represents the weight of leadership. Jamie has always been known for his bravery and strong sense of honor. However, this episode reminds viewers that leadership is not only about courage in battle. It is also about the emotional burden that comes with making choices that affect many lives. Jamie understands that if conflict grows, the people around him will look to him for guidance. That responsibility creates a quiet pressure that follows him throughout the episode and becomes very clear in the final moments. His decision at the end is not simply about taking action. It is about accepting the role that fate seems to place in front of him. Jamie knows that avoiding the coming trouble might protect him in the short term, but it could also leave others without someone to stand up for them. This shows an important theme in the story. Sometimes doing the right thing means walking directly into danger, even when the outcome is uncertain. Jamie's character has always been built around this idea, and the ending reinforces that part of his identity. For Claire Fraser, The meaning of the ending is slightly different, but just as powerful. Claire carries knowledge that most people around her do not have. She understands how history can unfold, and that awareness creates a deep inner conflict. On one side, she wants to protect the future and prevent tragedy if possible. On the other side, she knows that interfering with history can create unexpected consequences.